Hi again. Today's book is SOE Special Operations Executive, a guide to the Combined Military Services Museum collection, written by Gary Waite. This is the book, very recently published. The book is a guide to the material and items and documents held at the museum, and the museum seems to be a fascinating place with the collection spanning both the significant wars and also more recent conflicts, right up to modern times with things like missiles on display. And it really does seem like a great day to spend some time. I visited many museums, a family holiday to London when I was still at school, and we went to the Imperial War Museum, and that was the first of many trips I've made there. Also the Royal Armouries at Leeds, I can enthusiastically recommend. I'll put a link to the museum. The book is quite a slim volume, but it does cover a lot of material, and it's very specific on its remit to cover SOE. At the beginning, we have an introduction to what the SOE was, what it was set up for, and what it was intended to achieve. Because at the time when it was set up, Britain was still facing the threat of invasion, and we wanted methods of carrying the fight to the enemy. One was the commandos, who carried out raids on the enemy coast or parachuted in, and the other was the ability to stiffen the resistance movements in the occupied countries, and that was the remit of the SOE. A lot of personal backing by Winston Churchill, and it's included in the book. It then goes on to recruitment, the famous room at the War Office, where candidates were directed with no clue as to what they were getting themselves in for. Some of them thought they were going to be a clerk or a translator, things like that, and then to be actually informed what the real job was, and also the fact that you were now bound by tremendous secrecy. It must have been quite a surprise to a lot of people. Personalities discussed, obviously people like Gubbins, Vera Atkins, Leo Marx, they're all there, photos of them, etc. But also some of the slightly lesser known agents who very, very bravely went behind the lines, and in several cases never came back. Another section covers codes and ciphers, and you may remember a book I reviewed a while ago was one of my favourites is Between Silk and Cyanide by Leo Marx, who was head of codes for SOE. Very comprehensive book, tremendous insight, because he briefed many of the agents personally, so he met them and he tells their stories. He's mentioned and his work is referenced in this book. And also interesting, and I've never seen this before, in the collection at the museum are German agent radios. They're from their equivalent from the Abwehr, that was supposed to be used by their spies who came into the UK, none of whom actually ever were able to transmit of any, or to get any messages back of any use, because they were all rounded up. Some of them were played back in the famous double cross system, and some were executed. Of particular interest to viewers on this channel is the section on Fairbairn and Sykes, and obviously I've reviewed a lot of material on this specialised part, the close combat, both unarmed and with weapons such as the famous dagger and so on. It mentions the various establishments that they were sent to after they came over from Shanghai, and they were commissioned by the War Office, and they trained people like the Home Guard and then the Commandos and SOE at various places. It's all very, very interesting, and I didn't find anything to quibble about, having read quite a lot of very detailed books, including one I reviewed recently based on the OSS files on Fairbairn. This book does seem to have a high degree of authenticity to its material. Material on the very specialised equipment designed for SOE, for the very specific roles that they had. A lot of the stuff had to be disguised or adapted to fit into the particular cover stories that the agents were using. So some of the devices were rarely a result of lateral thinking, and among the chapters on this is a section on specialized material for parachute operations, the different types of containers, the personal equipment and so on, because they would quite often they would wear a parachuting coverall and a particular Sorbo rubber lined helmet, and then on the drop zone be able to get rid of that and be in civilian clothes quite often, so in case they had to quickly blend in. One network that is highlighted is that which was set up by Peter Churchill and his radio op Odette Sampson, which was a famous book and a film called Odette, and they were both captured and interrogated, but they did survive. And there's a final section on the auxiliary units, which were Britain's resistance movement, and the links between that organisation and SOE, because in the early days there was a lot of overlap between the two. And finally, I think this book will be of interest to two sections. Firstly, people who haven't really read anything on SOE and want something that covers quite a lot of detail in a small package, and also those who want to have a full collection of everything written about SOE, which includes myself. So I find the book very well done and very worthwhile.